We have a next question which is coming from Mr. Dattratreya Nimbolkar.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. This is D.V. Nimbolkar. I'm Company Secretary of Raj Industries. I have got one suggestion. In case of companies whose financial year ended on 31st December, the relaxation has been given for holding AGM by 30th of September instead of 30th of June. So whether any such relaxation measure is on anvil in case of companies whose financial year has ended on 31st of March, as most of the companies fall in this category.
No. I think that is already done, right? I think as far as extension of annual AGM, etc., has already been done.
But there is a specific.
In fact, it was done.
There is specific mention about the companies whose year ends on 31st of December.
No, there's a circular.
No. I think 31st of December thing came subsequently because that is only for certain companies, right? It only hits probably, for example, on the yeah.
So the circular on conducting meetings through VC or other audio-visual means, OAVM, very clearly provides for conducting the meeting right up to 31st of December, which basically means you get time for 9 months from the close of the financial year.
That's right. Thanks a lot. That answers my query.
Yeah, that is given already. I probably didn't understand what he was trying to say because I think by default it was for companies whose year ended on 31st of March.
Yes.
31st of actually an exception.
Yeah. Thanks.
Correct. Thank you. We have a question from Ghanshyam Saraf. Saraf, can you?
Yes. I have got certain procedural aspect regarding the signing of your limited review by the auditors and the signed by the directors and placing of the documents in the meeting, how that can be done in the VC.
Can you repeat your question, Mr. Ghanshyam?
You see, there are various documents which are required to be filed with the stock exchange duly signed. They such as say these unaudited results with the signature of the auditor or the CEO of the company. Similarly, the documents which are required to be collected from the directors like MVP or your declarations, how that can be solved. It is a procedural thing. I would request Madam Savitri Parik to reply on this.
Pradeep,
okay. No, I'm not able to hear this properly, but I'll just try to reply on the basis of what I understood. Maybe the others can also chip in. So as far as signing of documents is concerned, SEBI has already given if I may use the word advisory, we have said that you need not send physical signatures, you can use a digital signature to sign. Subsequently, both NSE and VSE have also issued guidances to the corporate saying that for disclosures under Regulation 30 material events, you can use the SD and email and then you can send it. So I believe this is
sufficient. Simply getting over email is sufficient.
That is for Regulation 30, yes.
And for other documents, unaudited results, audited account,
yeah, you have to use a digital signature, sir.
Digital signature.
Yeah. We have issued a circular. Would you like to refer? Please refer the circular. We have issued a circular saying that you use a digital signature for such cases.
Oh. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have next question from Deepankar Haldar.
Hello. Can you hear me?
We are able to
Can
hear
you hear me?
Yes. Yes, please.
Sir, only short. I am coming in short. Suppose I send the link of annual report convening the general body meeting. Would it be sufficient compliance? Because if I send the PDF attachment, the file size will be very, very big, and the transmission would be a problem. Hello.
Pradeep,
in fact,
take the question.
In fact, you need to send the soft copy of the annual report, Mr. Havildar. You need to send the soft copy. A link will not suffice.
But current my RNT agent says that one of the big corporate. If you want, I can give the name. They have sent the link.
No,
I have sent a letter to stock exchanges also on the same thing. Because you see that annual report these days are very heavy, and it goes up to 4 GB, 3.8 to 3.8 MB data. I suppose it is something like that. So kindly have a look at it, sir.
So the issues regarding the size, is it? The size of the file?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is
Yeah,
issue
so
is
you
relating
said-
to size.
Okay.
Issue is and I have spoken to CDSL, NSDL everywhere. They are saying that if you send a link, it is enough. Kindly throw some light on this, sir.
Actually, that's correct. If you send a link, that is enough, because very often even the recipients have a size restriction. What you're supposed to be doing is to send the annual report. Now, sending of annual report does not mean sending it only as an attachment. You can always send a link. Now, the link would be one where the person clicks. When you get a mail, you click on that and it immediately opens, is the way it should be. You cannot tell the person to go to some other website where the person clicks. So the body of the mail should clearly have the link which you click. For example, just as this webinar, there was a link which was given, which you click to join. That's something which is permitted.
Thank you, madam.
We have a question from Suman Kara. Yeah,
Hello.
please go ahead.
Yeah, my
We
question
can
is
hear you.
regarding
Go
that
ahead.
SEBI advisory, which was just issued in May. That SEBI advisory actually just mentioned 2 points. One of the clause says that all listed companies are supposed to, show the financial impact while filing the financial results. That COVID-19 impact has to be part of the financial statement whenever it is being filed with this exchange. Another part says that there are many segments, many things which they say, including, financial ratios, and then closing of performance of operations and all. So will it be fine if that COVID impact is filed only with the financial statements, or we have to file the another detailed report also in addition to the financial statements?
No, ma'am. So before I reply, so I would like to tell you that there are no words like must or should in that advisory. It is an advisory.
It says shall, sir. It says
Okay.
shall. So
Yeah.
that is the reason.
No, wait. So secondly, so now what is the financial impact? So why do you need numbers? We need numbers because you will be able to deduce something out of the impact. Because if you say that no, my factories will be closed, everyone knows that the factories are closed. Of course, we know that. So ultimately, so what is it going to impact you? So that is the reason why we have mentioned that you need to bring a financial impact. So the person will be able to understand it better. In case I operate 10 factories and 2 factories are closed, but they're only going to contribute 5% to my bottom line, then it may not impact me much. But in case I'm going to close my main factory, and that is going to impact probably 50% of the production, so that is going to impact me higher. That is the reason why we have said that we have to put a number to the you can put a number to the disclosure. And if you see you will be able to come to a conclusion, or maybe as and when you, that is, if you look at the last part of the circular, we have said that you can revise, update the disclosures as and when you come to know of newer facts. Because suppose I say I come out with something saying that okay, last time I declared a something like 100 crores profit, but this time it's going to be very less, or maybe it is going to hit by 20%, and finally you find that the impact is not 20%, it's only going to be 10%. You can revise the thing accordingly. See, we are facing something which we really don't know anything about. We are all like the blind men surrounding an elephant.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we really don't know what exactly it's about. That is why we have, that circular from SEBI is supposed to handhold listed companies in disclosing. Okay, we are the regulator who has to be, we listen to the needs of the industry. So that was something we came out after finding that the industry needs an advisory. So if you read that in that right spirit, so that is what it was intended.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have a question from Ajay Sanjay. Please ask, Mr. Ajay. Please ask the question.
Yeah. Good afternoon, and thanks for providing this platform. So in terms of
Thank you.
regulation, in terms of regulation 42, the result of general meetings to be submitted to the stock exchange within 48 hours. Okay, so this is fine, but in case of court convened meeting where the chairman is appointed by the NCLT, it is not practically possible to get the report and submit the report in 48 hours. So for example, in our case, we got the report after 10 days and we tried to explain NSC also, but even after that, we have imposed a penalty of 10,000, and after that, they have taken it to the committee and then it was reversed. So I think some practical considered and necessary amendment related to court convened meetings to be made. This is one thing, and just one more thing. So sometimes we find that whenever we submit some disclosure, particularly under Regulation 30, so then since stock exchange supposed to handhold us, so therefore if some discrepancy is there or if some gaps is there, that should be informed to the corporate immediately or as soon as possible. So if some discrepancy is there and if stock exchange will inform after 1 year or 2 years, then hardly it will solve the problem. So these are the two things.
So on the first part, sir, actually, if you see, a blanket exemption cannot be given. So that's why what we do is, in this case, example, 48 hours, after the 48 hours have taken, you have not submitted, then as per the provisions, this penalty is levied. And if there is some genuine difficulty, as you then we can place it before the review committee and that, let that committee decide whether that genuineness was there or not. So that's why this process has been laid down, and we have been following it since many years. And that's a way, in this, instead of giving a blanket type of thing that okay, you can take n number of days and all, we have been following this particular part. Second question, I didn't get the second question of yours. Oh, sorry, it was about this 1 year. And I don't think at this juncture there will be anything like that. That okay, after 1 year you will be asked for a clarification.
It's getting engaged. आपको ही कर रहा हूँ. 2-3 things as far as the board meeting is concerned.
Mr. Aviskar, thanks for your answer. And the second question was just only some expectation that if some discrepancy is there, then it should be informed immediately to the corporate. So then they will take the corrective action immediately. That is the only.
Sir, that is there in the sense, just to clarify, in the sense, within 24 hours of that particular announcement, we seek that clarification. So that's why that 1 year and all, it will not be there. That some after you submit it, after 1 year, some clarification is being sought and all that.
Okay, we will move on to next few questions and then we'll conclude this webinar. We have a question from Chitranshi Shukla.
Hello, hi ma'am, hi sir. Sir, I want to ask that is there any further relaxations for Q1 June 2020? Any relaxations for quarterly compliances?
The quarterly compliances, no. I think the quarterly compliances are already over by May 15th, no?
Okay, so means we have to follow the specified guidelines for the upcoming quarter end.
Yeah, it's 1.5 months now.
It's August, no? Till August time is there.
No. I know. So there are two things, ma'am. So what is a quarterly compliance? You have shareholding pattern and other things. Those things, I think the deadline already expired on 15th of May. So I don't think there were any extension no extension was given for those. The only thing which is remaining till, which we have received requests, I think which you are referring to is the financial results.
Financials.
No, sir. I'm referring for a quarter like shareholding pattern, investor grievance certificate, reconciliation certificate.
No. I think that is all over.
Oh, for Joseph, for the
are you talking of the next quarter? Are you talking about the next quarter?
Yes.
I am talking about April to June 2020 quarter.
No, I don't think.
April to June.
No. Barnali ma'am, would you like to say something on that?
For which one? April to June. For
June.
Financial.
So Barnali ma'am is my boss, so I will ask her to answer this question.
There is no such extension. I think what she's mixing up is with the shareholding pattern and all, which you have already given, and that is over.
No, so she wants to know whether you will give the extension for the next quarter also.
Oh, okay. Next quarter is yet to get over.
Yeah, I know. Let us.
We have a next question from Sriraman. Mr. Sriraman, can you ask your question?
Hello, good evening, everybody. My question is the repetition of Mr. Rangarajan. Is there any extension available for the outcome and results publication, sir? We have a meeting on 24th. That half an hour deadline is extended to 1 hour, or it's still continuing half an hour only for the outcome?
No, as of now, no, SEBI has not extended any the board meeting, the 30-minute deadline so far.
Okay.
I don't think we have extended anything.
Okay, because as Mr. Rangarajan explained, the practical difficulty of getting the auditor signed and all those things.
You can always send a representation to us, we'll see. But I think we have already received this representation last time,
Okay.
which was a little more, I mean, when it was a lot more trying circumstances, but we believed probably it may not be required. So now things have eased out, so I don't know whether that's a reason.
No, we are in Tamil Nadu, it's not eased out, sir. It's a full lockdown,
Okay.
complete lockdown.
Okay, send us a query, send us a representation, we'll see what we can do.
Okay, to which ID I should represent, sir? NSC
You
or
can
BSc
send
or
it to me, Pradeep. You can send it to me, Pradeep, or you can copy Miss Barnali ma'am, barnali@sebi.gov.in.
Okay, sure, sir, sure. Then one more question, actually. We have a meeting on 24th. Okay. This publication of results, we can do it after July 1st, or it's not necessary, sir? Newspaper publication.
No, but I think you will have to publish, I mean, you have to come out with the disclosure immediately, right? You will have to do it electronically immediately.
Electronically, full results and quick results, we will do it. Quick results on the same day.
Then it's fine.
No, see, it's your choice. No, I think what you want to say is that along with this, later when after the lockdown, you want to do it with the, you want to do it, it's a voluntary thing, it's your choice. In case you want to help the newspaper industry, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, we'll take another question from Christabel.
Good evening. This is Christabel. My question was on holding of the AGM. When it's mentioned that there has to be two-way teleconferencing allowed, during the course of the meeting, would allowing a chat option be sufficient, or because we may allow video? The suggestion that we've got is to get videos done beforehand because of these connection problems only. To ask the shareholders to register for their videos, test their connections, and then allow them to ask questions through video at the meeting. But during the meeting, the people who are attending, to allow them to use a chat option. So is that sufficient compliance for the two-way teleconferencing?
So maybe I think Savitri ma'am would be best placed, or Rangarajan sir can be best placed to answer this question, because this flows directly from the MCA circular on audio visual thing. But yeah.
Well, Christabel, I would say that you should give a two-way communication. Just a chat would not be considered as two-way. Of course, it would be good to provide a chat facility. And yes, there is a problem of network connectivity in few cases, but it will be necessary to provide for a VC facility also, where people are able to speak up and not have recorded messages.
All right, ma'am. Yeah, noted. Thank you.
I think with that, we have taken almost all questions from the participants, and with that, we'll come to end of this webinar. So on behalf of NISM, I would like to thank all the panelists from SEBI, Pradeep for taking all questions and actively answering the questions, Savitri Parekh, Barnali ma'am, Mr. Ranganathan, Avishkar Naik, everybody, thank you very much for participating. And thank you very much for the participants for asking various questions. Thank you all.
Thank you, Vishal.
Thank you very much, Vishal.
Thank you.
And thanks
Thank
to
you.
all the other
Thanks, Vishal.
panelists
Thank you.
also, Varnali ma'am,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Pradeep Ramakrishnan, as well as
Thank you.
Mr. Avishkar. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.